mathematician or a scientist, they follow formulas, they go in a straight line. But an artist looks at everything. So when you combine the two, you get a much better product. One of my favorite pictures in the space program, you see all those billions of stars. They're above us every single night. The reason you don't see them, the light from the Earth filters them out. But it was completely black on Earth, you would see all those stars every night. A little while I'm going to show you a movie on what it's like to be on Mars. There's no lights on Mars. When you see the night sky on Mars, you'll see it filled with all those beautiful stars. When we had shuttle launches, we had day launches and night launches. The night launches were spectacular. Just like you go to a football match here at night, everything is lit. The field is lit, where you're sitting is lit, it's like daytime. Same thing when we go to a shuttle launch. Everything is lit. 5 seconds before the launch, they shut off all the lights. You're sitting there, it's pitch black. When this takes off, the light from the engine hit the water, go back up. 1 second it's nighttime, the next second it's daytime. Change night to day in 1 second. It's just spectacular. Pretty rare picture because there's 2 shuttles on the launch pad. The main reason we had a space shuttle, the only thing large enough or powerful enough to take the big pieces to space, to build a space station. So if the astronauts in space and they were building a space station, if something might harm them or cause them, they could go inside the space station for safety. This mission was going to the Hubble telescope. The Hubble telescope, a big telescope up in space, the size of a school bus, and it studied the universe. And this was a repair mission. So there was a concern, if they were up in space, nothing would save them. So they had a second one as a rescue mission. It wasn't necessary, but one of the few times they had 2 active shuttles on the test. Same picture at night, these things are lit up brilliantly. There's a road that goes by Kennedy Space Center. You can see them for about 30 kilometers away. I like walking on the beach. You can see them from the beach. They're really, really pretty. This is called a VAB, Vehicle Assembly Building. Anything that goes to space, it calls a vehicle. And it has to be assembled or put together before it goes. And it's done so in this building. And when the astronauts went to the moon in the 60s and 70s, all the Apollo missions were put together inside here. The shuttle flew for 30 years. All the shuttle missions were put together in here. And now we have something called Artemis. Artemis is the future of the space program for America. All the Artemis missions are put together in there. I do race cars. So one of the cars I race. If you come to my house and you want to help put the car together, you want to drive the car, anything you want to do, I let you do. A lot of fun to drive it to work, but I like to go fast. Police don't like me going fast. I get in trouble again, but I have a lot of fun doing it. So the VAB is here, and this is the launch pad. So it's got to go from there to there, 5 kilometers away. And this is how it gets there. This is a little person here, if you can see how small this person is. This is called a crawler transporter. This is a mobile launch platform, and the shuttle has 4 main parts. The part that looks like a plane is called an orbiter, because it goes above the Earth and it orbits the Earth. The part in the middle, the orange part, is a fuel tank. It has liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen, and it has 2 moving rockets. It takes 5 hours to go those 5 kilometers. This is what it looks like at launch.
One question I want to some question and I want to ask you. I think some children are understanding what you are saying, but some children are, I think they are not understanding what you are saying because grand language. Okay. If it is possible, we are translating. Then you speak. Then I will translate what you are saying. So Alva, please come there. And after this period, after he has spoken, you will translate about what we say. Okay? So now you understand? Yes. Okay. Yeah, carry on. I think it is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. I want them to understand.
Yeah.
Do it this way.
You are
That's for me.
please after.
कर ले जाओ.
Okay, you carry on. After your
Yeah. So I want to show you a launch,
वो आपको एक लॉन्च दिखाना चाहते हैं,
but I want to say a little bit about it first.
बट वो लॉन्च दिखाने से पहले आपको उसके बारे में बताना चाहते हैं.
In this shuttle are 3 big engines,
इस शटल में 3 बड़े इंजन्स हैं
and there's 2 booster rockets.
और 2 बूस्टर रॉकेट.
Together
एक साथ
is 3 million kilos of lift.
3 million kilometers की lift है.
What that means to go up,
What?
to go up,
To go up. Oh.
You-
To go up.
ऊपर जाना.
If they are understanding, I think you complete your sentence.
Yes.
Then okay.
I have to see how much she can understand.
Yeah, you understand. She understand also.
Okay, but we will learn as we go.
Okay.
That means to go up, you have to push down with 3 million kilos.
ऊपर जाने के लिए 3 million kilometers को ऊपर जाना.
So I want to show you a launch. I want to show you a launch.
वो आपको एक लॉन्च दिखाना चाहते हैं.
मेरा इधर बताना है.
वो आपको एक लॉन्च दिखाना चाहते हैं.
रॉकेट कैसे उड़ता है?
What happens at the launch?
उस लॉन्च में क्या होता है?
We're
Excellent.
5 kilometers away.
वो 5 kilometers दूर होते हैं.
And you really can't see it and you really can't hear it.
तो ना आप उसे देख सकते हैं ना आप उसे सुन सकते हैं.
But they start the engine, they're building power.
बट फिर भी वो इंजन स्टार्ट कर देते हैं.
It's trying to take off, but it's locked down on the launch pad.
वो टेक ऑफ करने की कोशिश कर रहा होता है बट स्टिल वो लॉक्ड होता है.
Up to 3 million kilos pushing on the earth.
Up to 3 million kilos pushing on the earth.
You really can't see it and you really can't hear it.
ना आपको दिख रहा होता है ना आपको सुनाई दे रहा होता है.
But you're watching it,
मगर फिर भी आप उसे देख रहे होते हो.
and all of a sudden your feet start shaking.
और फिर अचानक से आपके पाँव हिलना शुरू हो जाते हैं.
It's shaking the earth, trying to take off.
वो फिर अर्थ को शेक कर रहा होता है टेक ऑफ करने की कोशिश में.
And it takes off and makes a really quick turn.
और फिर जैसे वो टेक ऑफ होता है वो बहुत
लगा हुआ है.
क्विक टर्न लेता है.
Excellent.
And then it's gone.
और फिर वो चला जाता है.
You still don't hear it.
और फिर भी नहीं सुना.
But all of a sudden, you hear it,
और फिर अचानक से आपको सुनाई देता है.
but you're looking there,
बट आप उधर देख रहे होते हो
and you hear it there.
और सुनाई उधर दे रहा होता है.
It goes so fast it leaves the sound behind.
वो इतना तेज चल रहा होता है कि वो पीछे एक साउंड छोड़ देता है.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I think
So you see, they start the engines,
और आप देख सकते हो ये इंजन स्टार्ट करते हैं
and it's trying to take off, but it's locked down.
और वो टेक ऑफ करने की कोशिश कर रहा होता है बट वो लॉक होता है.
धरती हिल रही है.
इसके अंदर 7 एस्ट्रोनॉट्स होते हैं.
For 2 minutes, they bounce around.
और सिर्फ 2 मिनट तक वो अंदर शेक होते रहते हैं.
अब लग रही है. पहले जो है ना छुआ थोड़ा नखरी है.
After 2 minutes, the boosters come off.
और 2 मिनट के बाद जो बूस्टर्स होते हैं वो निकल जाते हैं.
Then it gets very smooth.
और फिर वो बहुत स्मूथ सफर करना शुरू हो जाता है.
Then the tank and orbiter go up in orbit. The tank and orbiter go up in orbit.
और फिर they're taking over to go up in orbit. I don't know how to say it in Urdu. If anybody
सैयारे में जाते हैं वो.
उसके बाद वो
ऊपर जाते हैं ऑर्बिट पे. बाहर निकल जाते हैं.
The tank falls off and burns up in the atmosphere.
और फिर जो टैंक है वो गिर जाता है और एटमॉस्फेयर में ही बर्न होकर खत्म हो जाता है.
It only takes 8.5 minutes.
और ये जितना भी पूरा प्रोसेस है वो सिर्फ 8.5 मिनट्स में होता है.
To go from Earth to space.
To go from Earth to
चले.
It took me 39 hours to come here.
बताओ.
इन्हें 39 आवर्स लगे थे इधर आने को और जो रॉकेट है उसे 8.5 मिनट लगते हैं एटमॉस्फेयर में जाने को.
This is Buzz Lightyear.
ये बज़ लाइटयर है.
It was brought in the space program to make it fun.
इसे स्पेस प्रोग्राम में इसलिए ले गया था ताकि थोड़ी हंसी मजाक हो जाए.
He's named after a very famous astronaut.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay. इनका बस लाइटयर का नाम एक बहुत ही फेमस एस्ट्रोनॉट के ऊपर है.
Buzz Aldrin.
बस ऑलवेज.
No, और इससे नहीं.
Okay. Buzz Aldrin was the second person to walk on the moon.
ओह वाह वाह.
That's how
Buzz
Buzz
Aldrin.
Lightyear got his name.
दूसरा आदमी है.
Woody's at all the launches. Woody? He's at all the launches.
Where am I supposed to stay? You go.
No, this is Woody. He's the Toy Story guy.
ये दूसरा वो बंदा नजर वाला है.
Can anybody guess what this is? Yeah, it's doing something. Yeah.
स्पेस की गाड़ी.
Breaking the sound barrier.
टाइम क्या हुआ?
Ah.
लाइट ये बंद हो गया.
So when something breaks the sound barrier, it's called a sonic boom. It makes a great
Sonic
big bang.
boom.
So much
जब कोई
speed.
भी चीज साउंड बैरियर को ब्रेक करती है उससे सोनिक बूम कहा जाता है.
Every time the orbiter goes in orbit, it comes back down, it's completely taken apart.
और जब भी कोई ऑर्बिट ऊपर जाता है और वापस आता है तो बिल्कुल टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में होता है.
I want to talk to the girls.
जिल्ला.
I want to talk to the girls. I want to talk to the girls.
मेरे लड़के से बात करनी है
I want the boys to listen,
और ये चाहते हैं कि जो लड़के हैं वो सुने,
but I want to talk to the girls.
मगर इन्हें लड़कियों से बात करनी है.
I want you to know as a girl,
ये चाहते हैं कि आपको ये पता चले एज अ गर्ल
you can do anything.
ओह. ये तो बताओ.
The same as the guys.
ये लड़कों के लिए भी जाता है. You can do anything.
The greatest thing about the shuttle program,
What?
the greatest thing about the
The,
shuttle program.
the greatest thing about the shuttle program,
Before the shuttle program, there were no girls in the Space Center.
before the shuttle program, कोई भी लड़कियां नहीं थी स्पेस सेंटर में.
Not one.
Not even one.
With the advent of the shuttle program, many women engineers got involved.
तो फिर जैसे स्पेस प्रोग्राम बना बहुत सारे इंजीनियर्स जितनी भी लड़कियां थी वो इन्वॉल्व हो गए.
Now girls do everything the same as the guys.
और अब लड़कियां वही करती हैं जो लड़के करते हैं.
So I want you all to know you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
हम भी नहीं.
आप कर सकते हो
तो
हर
ये कहना चाहते हैं कि यू कैन डू एनीथिंग यू वांट.
कुछ भी कर सकते हो.
एक लड़की भी जो है
हाँ.
वो भी बहुत कुछ कर सकती है. जितनी भी लड़कियां यहाँ मौजूद हैं, जिस तरह ये लड़कियां आज स्पेस पे गई हैं, इस तरह आप में से कोई जाएगा इंशाल्लाह.
वापस कब आएंगे?
So this is the ISS, the International Space Station.
Take a picture.
So it took 12 years to build a space station.
12 years लगे थे एक स्पेस स्टेशन बनाने में.
This was 5 years,
इसमें 5 साल लगे थे.
8 years,
8 साल लगे थे.
and this is how it looks now.
और इससे ये अब इस तरह दिखता है.
If you want to see it, go over your house.
अगर आपको ये देखना है तो अपने घर की छत पे जाओ.
It's very easy to do.
ओके.
I'm going to tell you. All you have to
प्लीज
do,
लिसन. प्लीज.
all you have to do is Google Spot the Station. SPOTTHESTATION. Spot the Station.
बस गूगल जाके स्पॉट द स्टेशन लिखो
It will take you to a link.
और फिर आपको एक लिंक मिलेगी.
It will ask for your home address and email.
और फिर वो आपसे आपका होम एड्रेस और ईमेल मांगेगा.
When it comes over your house, you get an email 24 hours ahead of time.
और फिर जब ये आपके घर के ऊपर से जाएगा तो आपको 24 आवर्स पहले एक ईमेल मिलेगा कि आपके घर के ऊपर से जाने वाला है.
It will tell you where to look and how long you can see it.
प्लीज लिसन.
और फिर ये बताएगा कि कहाँ देखना है और कितना अरसा लगेगा आपको ये देखने में.
It looks like a very bright star.
और ये स्टार की तरह ही लगता है, a really bright one.
When you see the star, you're not seeing the star.
बट आप जब उस स्टार को देखोगे वो स्टार नहीं है, वो यही है।
You see the light from the star,
आपको लाइट दिखेगी स्टार्स
and it doesn't move.
और स्टार्स मूविंग है।
But the ISS, you can see it for 4 or 5 minutes going across the sky.
और आप टोटल में उसे 4 से 5 मिनट देखेंगे अब वो घूमते हुए।
It doesn't have any light.
What?
It doesn't have any light.
और इसमें कोई भी लाइट नहीं है।
It's the sun reflecting off of it.
इसमें कोई भी लाइट नहीं है, बट स्टिल ये शाइन करता है। क्यों? क्योंकि सन अपनी लाइट रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहा होता है।
A few years ago, I was in Australia,
कुछ साल पहले ही ऑस्ट्रेलिया में थे
and because of the angle of the sun, it was red.
और सन का एंगल ऐसा था कि ये रेड लग रहा था।
So you saw a red star going across the sky.
तो आपको जो दिख रहा था वो ये था कि एक रेड स्टार स्काई के अक्रॉस जा रहा है।
It was really pretty.
It was really pretty.
This gives you an idea how big it is. This is an American football field, which is bigger than a Pakistan football field. So you can see it's much bigger than a football field.
ये इसका जो साइज है वो एक फुटबॉल फील्ड से भी बड़ा है।
It's going around the earth at 26,000 kilometers per hour.
और ये अर्थ पे जिस स्पीड पे जाया है वो है 26,000 किलोमीटर्स पर आवर।
Takes 90 minutes to go around one time.
And it takes 90 minutes to go around one time.
So the astronauts see the sunrise 16 times every day when they're in space.
I have one question.
Yes.
How many-
After the rank, but after the completed this session.
Okay, yeah.
ओके तो एस्ट्रोनॉट्स को स्पेस स्टेशन में बैठ के जो सनसेट और सनराइज है वो 16 टाइम्स देखने को मिलती है।
There's 16 nations involved in building the International Space Station.
ये 16 नेशंस इन्वॉल्व हैं इस स्पेस स्टेशन को बनाने में।
And think about this.
और इसके बारे में सोचो।
There's 16 different countries came together for one common goal. Nobody was fighting. Nobody was arguing. 16 different countries came together. So it just shows we can get along. The next thing I want to show you, how it was put together. Each piece was put in a shuttle and brought to space.
अब ये दिखाएंगे कि ये इसे एक साथ जोड़ा कैसे गया था। तो एक एक इंडिविजुअल पीस को किया गया था और फिर भेजा गया था।
These are called solar arrays. They take energy from the sun, they convert it to electricity. This is called a truss. Anything that a truss is something that gives a structure strength. The round or cylindrical parts, that's where the astronauts live and stay.
जो सिलेंड्रिकल पार्ट्स हैं उसके अंदर एस्ट्रोनॉट्स रहते हैं।
So you get an idea how big it is and why it took so long to put together. It's so important to have fun learning.
बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है कि आपको मज़ा भी आए लर्न करते वक्त।
The more fun you have learning, the easier it is, the longer you remember it.
जितना आपको मज़ा आएगा लर्न करते हुए उतना ही ईजी होगा और उतने ही देर तक आपके दिमाग में फीड होगा।
When I was in high school, my sister would go in her room and turn on music.
जब ये हाई स्कूल में थे इनकी जो बहन है इनकी जो ट्विन है वो रूम के अंदर जाके म्यूजिक को ऑन कर देती थी।
She would sing and dance to her lessons.
वो अपने लेसन्स को याद करते करते गाएंगी भी और वो डांस भी करती थी।
You made learning fun.
इससे उन्हें मज़ा भी आता था और उन्हें याद भी हो जाता था।
The astronauts have to go to space and build a space station while they're floating.
जो एस्ट्रोनॉट्स हैं उन्हें स्पेस में जाके स्पेस स्टेशन तब बिल्ड करना होता है जब वो फ्लोट हो रहे होते हैं।
So they have to learn to do that on Earth.
तो उन्हें ये सीखना अर्थ पे ही होता है।
But on Earth, gravity holds us down.
मगर अर्थ के ऊपर ग्रेविटी हमें नीचे रखती है।
We can float in water.
तो हम लोग वाटर में फ्लोट कर सकते हैं।
So NASA said, let's train floating in water like we do floating in space.
तो नासा ने क्या किया वाटर में फ्लोट करना उन्हें सिखाया और उससे उन्हें ये उनके दिमाग में किया कि ऐसे सीखो कि हम लोग स्पेस में फ्लोट हो रहे हैं बट एक्चुअली वो वाटर में फ्लोटिंग की ट्रेनिंग करवा रहे थे।
But we don't want to float on top of the water. Gravity will still affect us.
बट अगर वो वाटर के ऊपर फ्लोट करते तो ग्रेविटी फिर भी उन्हें अफेक्ट करती।
So in Houston, Texas, where I showed you that movie in the beginning at Johnson Space Center,
तो वो जो इन्होंने मूवी दिखाई थी जॉनसन स्पेस सेंटर की,
They built a great big pool.
तो इन्होंने एक बहुत बड़ा पूल बनाया.
It's 14 meters deep by 50 meters wide by 40 meters long.
That's a good calculation.
And they call it a neutral buoyancy laboratory.
और उसे
Buoyancy laboratory.
buoyancy laboratory कहा जाता है.
Buoyancy means you float. Neutral buoyancy means you don't float, you don't sink.
Like a Dead Sea.
No?
Example, like a Dead Sea.
Yes.
You can say it like a Dead Sea.
Like a Dead Sea.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That's in somewhere in USA.
Okay, so if we jump in the water, we float on top. Our body is buoyant.
जब आप वाटर के अंदर जंप करते हैं तो आप वाटर के ऊपर फ्लोट होते हैं, आपकी बॉडी बैलेंस्ड होती है.
So they put a weight belt around your waist, proportional to your weight. You go down 7 meters and you stay there.
तो वो आपकी वेस्ट के अराउंड एक बेल्ट टाई करते हैं जिससे आप नीचे जाते हो और आप 7 मीटर्स नीचे रहते हो पानी
You
के.
don't go up, you don't go down. That's called neutral buoyancy.
ना आप पानी के ऊपर रहते हो ना आप पानी के नीचे रहते हो.
So this guy's getting in the water. Everything is the same as in space.
तो ये जो बंदा है ये पानी के अंदर जा रहा है. He has a waist around his belt और everything is the same as in space. मतलब सारी चीजें वही है जैसे स्पेस में होंगी, but he's having his training in water.
If it's a big heavy metal piece, if you put it in the bottom, it will fall down. So they prop it up in a neutral buoyancy state. This girl, she's getting ready to go in the water. Everywhere she goes, 2 divers go with her in case there's a problem. They can get her right out of the water.
तो जब भी वो पानी के अंदर जाते थे उनके साथ 2 डाइवर होते थे ताकि if there's any problem they can help her.
This is something that's very simple on Earth, putting a screw in a wall.
ये वो चीज़ है जो बहुत अर्थ पे तो बहुत सिंपल लगती है. It's like putting a screw in the wall. कील ठोकना दीवार के अंदर.
When you're floating, it's much more complicated.
But जब आप float हो रहे होते हो ये बहुत ज़्यादा complicated होता है.
How many of you have a BFF, a best friend forever? So I have, in Pakistan, I have one really, really special BFF. Ooh. I'm not. This is my special BFF. In America, I also have a special BFF. His name is Randall. Randall is totally blind. He can't see anything, but he does everything. So I want you to think about something. From this day forward, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you have a new BFF. His name is Randall, and he's going to go everywhere you go.
Yes.
And if you think you can't do something, Randall is going to say to you, I'm blind, I can do it. So can you. Never be afraid to try. You never fail. Never. Every time you do something, you learn. And when you learn, you become a better and wiser person. So never be afraid to try. Next thing I want to show you what it's like to live up in space.